True, because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everyone gets that way. Sorry. Okay, let's watch Sunny V2's video on 10 celebrities who have 0 haters. Is it really possible in this day and age to have 0 haters? Let's see. Who are these so beloved celebrities?
One has the absolute fewest haters. Well, let's begin by looking at Jack Black, whose hilarious paparazzi interactions are just one reason almost everybody loves him.
I will admit, I don't ever hear anyone saying anything bad about Jack Black. I feel like, though, that one Nacho Libre movie, no controversy happened there.
For example, after being surrounded by a horde of photographers, Jack Black deliberately pulled the stupidest poses on his bike before trolling the paparazzi by doing this.
It's impossible to follow me when I go this fast. You're in my dust.
Which was a similar response to when he was ambushed by a single photographer.
So, any new projects we should know about?
I also think isn't it incredibly sad to laud a celebrity for having to deal with harassment? Like, the paparazzi are insane and insatiable in the way that they go after celebrities, and I think the way he's dealing with it is great, but also, like, dang, to be lauded just because you deal with it, great. And then there'll be the opposite spectrum of where people, like, when they get upset, and they should, because someone's invading their privacy and being obnoxious now that they're the bad person who's assaulting someone. Paparazzi.
While most shows that being an idiot.
He sounds almost evil. A man is literally running away from you, and you're like, oh, you cutie pie honey bunches of oats. You run from me. You run. But
you know I'll catch you. I'll see you tomorrow outside your house.
Like, something just seems so sinister to me about that laugh. Just like, bruh, what is funny?
Can be just as beneficial, although he's also able to show maturity in the moments where it matters, like when he took the time to sing to a young kid who was a fan of School of Rock. Jack Black, he's just such a lovable guy. How could you not like him? Met him once briefly, he was nice enough. He was really great with his kid. Something about Jack Black just feels so human, but while Jack Black has always been loved by everybody, the now loved John Cena was once disliked by many. As the face of the WWE for roughly
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, John Cena number 9. I mean, I know most people tend to like him now, but there's no way being a WWE wrestler, he was just loved the whole time. That'd be insane. Inconceivable. He does some great acting work nowadays. WWE be pumping out actors.
15 years, people have said about John Cena, I hated him when he was being shoved down our throats by Vince, while a Sportster article claimed he was disliked for being overpushed. This had only been done, however, because he was too perfect. He maintains a clean image outside of WWE, and is a perfect role model for kids who form a big part of WWE's fan base, and he carried the company on his back through and through for over 15 years. He was a reliable name for WWE during that time, not to mention he learned one of the world's hardest languages just to further the company's presence.
WWE has really never been able to penetrate China. So I figured if one of WWE's top superstars could bridge the language barrier, maybe we can get some relevancy over there.
On top
Bro is playing 5D chess. He can speak Cantonese or Mandarin. Yo, what? Was he wrestling and like speaking Chinese, or just talking to investors and businessmen? Oh, I'm gonna need to see some of that.
of this, John Cena holds the world record for granting 650 wishes through Make-A-Wish, which is a
I did hear about that. He literally is #1 in Make-A-Wish wishes.
Especially crazy given no other figure has granted more than 200 wishes.
When you experience something like the reward of a Make-A-Wish, if you're not moved, I don't know if you have a beating heart.
How can haters hate on him? He's a good guy with a kind heart, Cena, you're the man. With all this in mind, it's no surprise Cody Rhodes stated,
John's the ultimate role model.
although if we're talking about ultimate role models, then Steve Irwin has to come next.
R.I.P. Steve Irwin. But yeah, I mean, I only hear good things about John Cena pretty much, and that is kind of crazy that most, if not all, celebrities have never granted over 200 wishes. Imagine 600 people wish to meet you every year for Make-A-Wish.
And his fans with respect, but of course animals too, using all of his income to purchase conservation areas in 4 different countries.
Oh, that's great. I honestly knew nothing about him other than the fact that he would wrestle crocodiles.
Good as a fast car, a flash house, and a gold-plated dunny to me. Absolutely no good at all. I've been put on this planet to protect wildlife and wilderness areas, which in essence is going to help humanity. And you know, money's great. I can't get enough money. And you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to buy wilderness areas with it. Every single cent I get goes straight into conservation. And guess what, Charles? I don't give a rip whose money it is, mate. I'll use it and I'll spend it on buying land.
When interviewed by the
I miss him so much. The way he talks, his specific accent, like, and how he's just like so. It's just like he reminds me of like Zaboomafoo and the Wildcat Brothers, and like, oh man, it's something beautiful when someone has such a passion for animals and conservation, but also like, yes, I can't get enough money because you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy the rainforest and save all the animals. What an evil genius.
Age in 2003, Steve used the interview to promote the protection of endangered species, and it seems his good nature was continued by the rest of his family. I never met Steve, but met the rest
so
of the family when they were
cute.
filming on Morton Island. Great bunch, friendly, approachable, so knowledgeable and willing to have a chat. Won us all over and were more than happy to join us for a drink in the evening. Steve Irwin was so kind toward animals that even after being killed by a stingray, fans have stated, I'm still a firm believer that Steve would have been like, Cricket, I'm so sorry Stingray, I didn't mean to scare you. You were just defending yourself and I was in your space. Gosh, what a beauty. Admittedly, there are people who don't
I still also just think it's like insane that it wasn't a crocodile. Like, if you asked me at any point, I would have bet so much money that it was going to be a crocodile. The fact that a stingray took him out felt like the most unfair, like a non-crocodile and a stingray at that.
He does the exact same jump at every red carpet event, although there's another Terry Crews meme.
Perfection, 10 out of 10, amazing, consistency, we love a consistent king.
Daniel the Goat wrote on Twitter, I keep this pic of Terry Crews in my wallet so I can see it when I'm about to waste money on things I don't need, lol, which Terry realized was a pretty good idea. I keep this pic of myself in my wallet so I can see it when I'm about to waste money on things I don't need, lol. Although the reason Terry Crews is ideal for the photo is because he's also incredibly disciplined. In a Reddit AMA he explained, I spend almost 2 hours a day working out, and it's therefore no surprise he's built such a crazy physique, which has helped him to land some of Hollywood's most lovable roles,
He does have
like
a very
Cheeseburger
nice
Eddie and Latrell
physique.
Spencer from White Chicks. Terry Crews has also maintained his marriage for almost 35 years, which is a great
Bruh, honestly, I love the photo thing. That's the first time I've heard about that, so, oh my gosh. That's like so genius to have like one set like jump that you do every single time. Oh my gosh, the collages, and then for your face to be used to save money because your character was so frugal.
In fact, the only time Tom Hanks ever got angry in public was when somebody bumped into his wife
Back the f*** off. What are y'all doing?
knocking over my wife.
Although he has been exposed for behaving badly on film sets. Only the person who exposed him was Tom Hanks himself. Not everybody is at their best every single day on a motion picture set, the two-time Oscar winner said. I've had tough days trying to be a professional where my life has been falling apart in more ways than one, and the requirement for me that day is to be funny, charming, and loving, and it's the last way I feel. Despite often feeling frazzled, Tom Hanks appears legendary in almost every role. However, even then his movies are often hated, well, again by Tom Hanks himself. Okay, let's admit this. We have all seen movies that we
I like how this video's like, yes, nobody hates Tom Hanks. In fact, most people genuinely love him, except for this one hater he has on the internet, revealed to be himself.
some movies that I hate. You have seen some of my movies and you hate them, with Tom's honesty about his bad moments only making him even more likable. In fact, the only location you might find a Tom Hanks hater is r/unpopular opinion, where one user responded, "Upvote to the realest unpopular opinion I've ever seen."
You know? No?
Nothing would be more psychopathic than despising Bob Ross, who was
How
not
could
only
you
loved for his
despise
extremely
Bob
wholesome persona,
Ross?
but also for inspiring millions to become artists themselves. Bob's show brought me so much joy, peace, and encouragement as a child. It was one of the reasons I started painting. I remember buying my first painting set and painting along to one of his episodes. I eventually realized that his style of painting was not for me, but his warm heart and gentle encouragement is something that I will never forget. In fact, every time I make mistakes in one of my paintings, I hear him saying, "We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents."
Besides that being something perfect you could say about children, Bob Ross is amazing. All right, he's listing celebrities where I'm like, okay, I guess, yeah, they don't have any haters. I do love Bob Ross. I think painting's really fun. And I kind of agree with this guy. I don't know if like Bob Ross's paintings are exactly for me. I mean, they kind of are because I do like to paint landscapes. But I don't know, I've tried to follow along. Maybe I just need to follow along more. I need to paint like 5 Bob Ross paintings in a row. I like that. I'm gonna have to write that one down. I love that.
And in case this wasn't wholesome enough, Bob Ross donated around 1,200 paintings, which was sold to help with fundraisers, while he refused to be paid by PBS for his show, and instead gave all 403 episodes to the TV network for free. Although with one single article about Bob Ross once being difficult to work.
Why? Why not just take the money and donate it somewhere? Use it for a good cause or a fund. You just gave them it for free? Dog.
With, it seems Weird Al Yankovic's legacy might
I love
be
Weird
even
Al.
cleaner. His
I love Weird
genuinely
Al.
funny songs had the advantage of being part of everybody's childhood, and while his interviews already show that he's a super awesome guy, those who have
And
met
he's
him in
got
real
great
life
hair.
say he's even cooler. For example, Patton Oswalt once said that Weird Al is the lone exception to the phrase "never meet your heroes," while Kurt Cobain literally said he knew Nirvana had made it when Weird Al called him to get permission to parody Smells Like Teen Spirit. This is because Weird Al personally reaches out to each artist before he parodies them, not
That's
because
smart.
it's required by law, but instead out of respect. Even then, Weird Al
Good,
pays royalties to those he chooses to parody, which in turn makes him loved by other artists, except for Coolio or Weird Al Yankovic's one and only hater. After Weird Al parodied Gangsta's
Coolio.
Paradise by instead making Amish Paradise, Coolio hated the song and chose to slam Weird Al on a different track, thus starting their feud. The two eventually squashed their beef 10 years later in 2006, with Weird Al's one and only public feud, placing him lower than James Buckley.
Oh, I love Weird Al so much. I need to go back through all of Weird Al songs. I gotta write that down. Weird Al is one of my, believe it or not, musical inspirations. I love him and Lonely Island. Growing up, I honestly was just like, I want to make parody songs like Weird Al. He definitely inspired me.
His role as Jay in The Inbetweeners was of such legendary status, every viewer couldn't help but love him, but while his character in the show was braggadocious and sometimes
I'm sorry, I missed this. Who?
6, with Weird Al's one and only public feud, placing him lower than James Buckley. His role
James
as Jay in
Buckley.
The Inbetweeners was of such
Okay.
legendary status.
This is the first celebrity I've never heard of before. James Buckley?
Every viewer couldn't help but love him, but while his character in the show was braggadocious and sometimes mean-spirited, James Buckley was the opposite in real life. When he began
Well.
uploading to YouTube in 2016,
Hey!
people realized James Buckley couldn't have been more humble, which has since helped him to become the highest paid star on Cameo.
You're a Cameo millionaire.
Yeah, I don't want to rip people off. I charge 40 quid, you know, two mates can go in 20 quid each for their other mate down the pub.
The only real disaster in James Buckley's career was the In-Betweeners 10-year reunion.
Cameo? What is that? Cameo.com. What? What is this? I had never heard of this before. And he is number one on Cameo. He literally is number one on Cameo for like 52 bucks. What? Okay. Oh my god, it's so funny. I'm learning so many new things.
Prompting him to tweet feeling pretty hated right now.
Aw.
Although given James Buckley is one nation, Fred Rogers was simply unhateable. His demeanor was so kind, calm and caring that when his car was stolen from outside of the network, the thieves returned the car to the exact same spot 2 days later, with a note on the windscreen reading, "If we'd known it was yours, we never would have taken it." Mr. Rogers was the definition of leading by example,
This is
as
what I'm talking
Fred's work
about.
for the greater
This is what
good
I'm
did not
talking
take
about.
the form of marching, rallying or picketing. Fred didn't march against Jim Crow, he cast black actors on his program, with his kind nature
And like, that is one of the biggest reasons personally I really like Mr. Rogers. I mean, I love all kid shows growing up. Well, not like all kid shows, but
certainly extending to outside of the show. I actually met him a few times when I was younger. I knew his grandson, and his personality wasn't just some facade he used on camera. He was genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever met. By all accounts, he actually was the kind and gentle man that he appeared to be on TV. In fact, this person thought hating Mr. Rogers was a sign of narcissistic parenting, with his likability being summarized by one single sentence. Mr. Rogers was, and in spirit remains, living proof that it's possible to conquer evil with kindness.
I mean, they do say kill him with kindness. But yeah, I totally agree. Those are a bunch of celebrities who pretty much have zero haters. And you could easily make a list of someone with the most haters too, but were those all men? Hold on. I think it was. Hold on, I need to look back at this. Women anger, women anger, women anger. Hold on. Are all of those celebrities who basically have zero haters? Yep, they're all dudes. They're all dudes. That just clocked for me. They're all dudes. Couldn't find any women celebrities with zero haters. I just noticed that.